KINER'S Korner is brought to you by Miller Light Beer. For great taste, there is only one light beer. By Mitsubishi Motors. Mitsubishi, perfecting the experience. And by NatWest USA, the people and the resources you need today and tomorrow.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to KINER'S Korner. And our guest in the show will be David Cohn, who pitched a strong ball game against the Boston Red Sox in the second charity ball game. And we'll have highlights of the ball game, check out the scores. And we'll return in just a moment right after this message from Miller Light Beer. Well, our guest in the show, David Cohn, and even though he's new to the New York area, the fans have picked up on him right off the top as they have come up with a new gimmick out here, the David Cohn hats. And David, you pitched a strong ball game, good breaking stuff. The walks were down, the strikeouts were up, everything looked great as he pitched against a good ball club.
Yeah, I did. You know, going into the game, I knew I needed the work. You know, I'd been struggling lately, and Mel Stottlemyre and myself have been working hard in the bullpen this last time and just basically trying to throw strikes and get ahead of the hitters.
What about the first couple of times out now? You really had a tough time the first start and also in the second start. Did you lose any confidence? Did it bother you any?
Well, you know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. You know, you try not to let that stuff affect you. I know I can pitch on this level. It's just a matter of getting the opportunities to do so. You know, I've had some prime opportunities and I haven't taken advantage of them, and I realize that they're few and far between. So I really need to bear down and show what I can do on this level if I expect to stay.
Well, you have a great curveball, there's no doubt about it, and you also throw that little slider when you drop down. Any special reason why you go to the sidearm pitch?
Well, it's a pitch that I worked on in Puerto Rico. I learned it from Gaylord Perry, and the way to make it effective is not to use it too much, to save it for a tough situation against a tough right-handed hitter like Jack Clark. You won't see me use it against left-handers.
Well, you handled his case well over in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's the type of hitter that it's effective against. You have to save it for the right time, and the element of surprise is what makes it effective.
Did you ever learn anything else from Gaylord Perry, like a spitball?
Well, that's kind of incriminating, but
you
no,
don't have to answer that. You can take the fifth.
He told me when I get to where I can't throw the ball hard anymore, he'll teach me that pitch.
Let's take a look at the action as David Cohn strikes out 8 in the ball game. Here are 6 of the strikeouts, and there's the David Cohn heads. How about that? You got your own fan club, David.
Yeah.
This is Wade Boggs, a great hitter, American League's leading batter last year, and you strike him out with a fastball.
Yeah, that's just a fastball. I had him set up for it. I'd thrown him a couple breaking balls early in the count, and I just reared back and threw it by him.
Marty Barrett also tough to strike out, and you fooled him with a slider.
Yeah, that's a slider. I got him 0-2, and I wanted to make sure I got it out and away from him, and luckily I got him to go for it.
Ed Romero, the next strikeout victim. This is in the top of the 5th.
That's another slider. That's a 3-2 pitch. It looked like it was going to be inside, and it just kind of dipped over the inside corner.
And now Ellis Burks right here, and you get him on a wild pitch.
Yeah, that's the curveball, yeah, right there. It started out, it looked like it was going to be a strike, and it broke down and away.
Then in the top of the 6th, Glenn Hoffman, the batter.
And there's the sidearm slider I learned, yeah.
And Mark Sullivan.
And that's just a running fastball up and in. I really wanted to rear back and make sure I got it inside.
Well, that's major league stuff right there, David, and certainly this should get you back on the track.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to building on this as far as my next start goes. I think there's a lot of positive things tonight, and I'm hoping that I can carry that into my next start.
That's the longest you've pitched since you came to the major leagues.
Yes, it is, and it felt good to stretch it out and be able to prove that, you know, that I can finish strong. I was happy about the way I finished.
Well, David, congratulations. Thank you. Thank
you, Ralph.
David Cohn, and we'll be back to take a look at the highlights right after this message from NatWest USA. Well, the Mets are winning 2-0 tonight. Now won the first 2 of these charity contests, and the Mets have signed up for 2 more to play, one in Boston next year and the other back here. Now let's take a look at the highlights of the ball game. Of course, it all started off when Roger McDowell, wearing a nutty mask, got to have some fun altogether. Bottom of the 2nd, 1 out, Mazzilli on 3rd. Santana grounds out. Mazzilli scores, and the Mets lead 1-0. Mazzilli had singled, gone to 2nd on the wild pitch, and had stolen 3rd. Now, with Mazzilli on at 2nd base, another base hit by Rafael Santana. The Mets are leading by a score of 2-0. Mazzilli had reached on the force play and gone to 2nd on a walk to Howard Johnson. And now this play by Magadan at first base, a high leap to take the bouncing ball, and Mike Greenwell is out at first base to preserve the Met lead. Dykstra comes up with this drive to center field by Romero, and the Mets have ended the ball game with the Mets winning by a score of 2-0. Randy Myers coming up with the save in the ball game, and the winning pitcher in the game was David Cohn. Well, we'd like to remind you our Miller Lite contest right here on KINER'S Corner is underway once again. And now here's how you can enter.
You can win along with the Mets in our Miller Lite KINER'S Corner contest by filling out the official entry blank available at your participating Miller Lite retailer, or print your name and address and phone number on a postcard. As on each KINER'S Corner show, a lucky fan will win 4 tickets to an upcoming Mets game. All entries will be eligible for the grand prize of 2 season tickets for the Mets 1988 season. That address again is Miller Lite Contest, WWOR-TV, 9 Broadcast Plaza, Secaucus, New Jersey, 07094.
Well, our next segment is the Miller Lite Sports Desk, and we'll be back with that in just a moment, right after this message from Mitsubishi Motors.
I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about Miller Lite. What a profound concept. It's got 1/3 less calories than I probably thought it didn't even have. And it's less filling than it would have been if it was more filling than they didn't want it to be. Plus, it tastes as great as you expected, even if it had more calories than it didn't have in the first place. Think about that.
In other words, there's only one light beer, because if there wasn't, he wouldn't be saying there is. Right, yo?
Well, now let's go to Secaucus, New Jersey, and our Miller Lite Sports Desk.